Hey class, I'm Kylie. I'm going to be going over HTML form input types, namely text, email, and password. We see these almost on a daily basis with different forms online, like login forms or create an account. Here's an example of one. I will go over an example as well. We'll use text for a username, or you can also use that for first name, last name, and we'll use email type for an email address and password for password, obviously. So let's get started. So here I have my labels for the username, email, password, and the submit button. And so let's go ahead and create the inputs. We're going to do input. I'm just going to do ID of username here. And then our type is going to be text. Okay, there we go. And there you go, entered our text box. Type text creates a single line text field, and that's why it's very useful with first name, last name, usernames. So let's look at some of the different attributes we can use here. We can do a max length if we don't want the username to be longer than, let's say, 10 characters. And we can do a min length if we want it to be longer than, let's put 6. So here, I'll just do an example. Do my name, and it gives us an error because it's not 6 characters long. So I go ahead and make it at least 6 characters long, and it will work. But I'm going to show you what it looks like if I go over 10. So I just put in characters and it stopped me at 10. It will not let me exceed 10 characters. Another thing we can do here is change the size of the input box. We'll just do a size of 10 because that's the max length it can be anyways. And that shrunk it down so it's not taking up quite as much space. We can put a placeholder in here. I'm just going to put username. And as you can see, that pops up here until you type in something of your own. And I'm also going to put required. So now if I hit submit, I get an error saying, oh, you're missing this, because it knows that it's required to submit. I'm just going to go over those ones for now, just for time's sake. Now we'll move on to the email type. So we'll create our input here. I'm going to do ID of, ID of email. And it is going to be type email. And as you can see, it created that again there. So type emails let users enter email addresses, and the value is automatically validated to make sure that it's a properly formatted email address in order to be submitted. So it helps avoid cases where the user mistypes or enters an invalid address. Now this doesn't prevent the user from putting in an email that is not being used, or misspelling their email address, or putting in an email address that isn't theirs. It just prevents formatting issues. So I'll give an example here of mine, and I'll just leave off the end here. Oh, of course I need to have my username. And it informs me that this is incomplete, so I cannot submit it. So some of the attributes we can use for email are similar to the text type. Another one that we can add that's different is multiple. So if we put multiple in here, it allows the user to enter multiple email addresses and just separate them by a comma, like so. It just autofilled for me because I tested this a minute ago. And there I have 2 email addresses in there. Okay. Now we're going to go over the password type. So we'll do the input here and do ID password. And for type, the value is password. And this allows users to securely enter password, and characters are replaced with an asterisk or dots for security. So here you can see that as I enter my password, it just comes in as dots. So some of the attributes that can be used with password are the same as the other types as well. We can also add an autocomplete where the values can either be on, and that allows the browser or password manager to fill in the field for the user, or off, and then it prevents that from happening. Or we can just put current password, and it gives more information than on. It autofills with the current password on that site. Or you can do new password, and that is used mostly when the password, when you're changing password or on a new user form. So that's about it. I'm out of time, so thank you so much for watching.